Good evening and welcome to the Fallout Bar after semi-finals night at the Paddy Power World Darts Championship. Joined again, as ever, it's been the same for a few days in a row now. Jack Garwood, Carwin Evans. Jack, how are you?
I'm all right.
And Carwin?
Yeah, not bad. Feels like we sort of just been sitting inside these three squares all week now. It's a regular occurrence. But no, I'm good, thank you. Yes, how are
Yeah,
you?
but you've had 5 different walls behind you. You've done a tour to South.
Yeah, going everywhere, but still looking at the same screen every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to screenshot this now and just put it as my wallpaper, just so I feel comfortable for the next few nights. Just looking at it before I go to bed for an hour. That's what I'm doing. This is the last one for us. We weren't sure yesterday, but we won't be doing one after the final tomorrow. That will be covered on the live lounge on Monday. Full day for you on Monday. Full day of Q School streaming, followed by the live lounge straight afterwards. So all the talk about the final will come then. So this is the last one for us together for a little while. And as is becoming a bit of a theme with the semi-finals at the World Darts Championship, we didn't see that much actual darts action tonight in terms of potentially what we could have had sets and legs wise. The last 6 of them, we haven't had anything closer than 6-2, and there's only been 2 of those, 2 6-0s and 2 6-1s. And while there was a lot of good darts on display tonight, it felt a little bit like that bit of jeopardy was missing, didn't it, Colin?
Yeah, it sort of felt in both matches that you had one player who was desperate to make it to the final and another player who's sort of expecting to make it to the final. And in both the victors, I think they managed the game the game very well in both of them and cruised to victory. And once sort of both games went sort of 2-0 up, you sort of thought then, it's going to be a tough old slog for Doby and Bunting to get back into it. And as it panned out in the end, it's sort of very comfortable wins for both Littler and MVG, although both sort of had to play, I don't want to say decent, but both played well. And they certainly showed their class when they needed to put in that dominant performances.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think either of them were sort of giving it by any means today, but they both were pretty comfortable in victory. It sets up now the 3rd final in a row that will be contested by only people called either Michael or Luke, which seems to be the way if you want to become good at
but fortunately for whoever's refereeing, there's one of each tomorrow, because there's nothing worse than both of them, because having the same name. I say that from experience. Like,
you got to do full names on them.
You spend all year reffing in a certain style. You get to the biggest game of the season, and all of a sudden you have to change it up and say their surnames constantly. It is fucking infuriating.
Yeah, fair play. So, at least it is 2 different ones tomorrow. But yeah, it is apparently the way to do it. If you want to be any good at darts, you must be called Michael or Luke, or there's just no point even trying to get to a world final. We'll start off with the first game of the night. And Chris Doby up against Michael van Gerwen. I stupidly picked the upset in this last night because I did sort of caveat it that he needed to win those Michael van Gerwen legs. The Carwin Evans, go on, give us the shout.
Doing the right thing at the right time.
Correct. So he needed to win those legs, and he got an opportunity to do that in the second set at 3-2 and missed his opportunity. Van Gerwen then takes it out, and from there, you sort of felt it was done. He had to be in there early and be giving himself that chance. And as soon as he was 2-0 down, I know he won the next set 3-0, but you didn't really fancy that the comeback was ever really on, Gob, did you?
Not really, not in this one. We spoke in the chat a little bit and whatever else. Elsewhere, Doby strikes me as a very, very good front runner. Not so much a good chaser, especially in a game that is as important as a World Championship semi-final. Because every opportunity... If he'd got a set on the board earlier, I think we might have had a different conversation. But because it took so long to get to 1 as well, there's that... sport drifts immediately from, right, get one on the board and let's get at this too. Fucking hell, don't let me get...
Well, he had 3 darts at 40, didn't he, in set 2? Like, that was the moment. Like, 3 darts at 40, and not one of them even slightly worried the double. Like, they were nearly as bad as his dart at double 10 was yesterday, which nearly hit my front door, as we said. Like, but that was the big opportunity. You take one of those darts goes, it's 1-1. You then rattle through that third set the way that he did anyway, and you're 2-1 up, and all of a sudden...
Well, not even that. You just settle into the game, don't you? But the fact he was then chasing, he finally gets one in the third set, but then Van Gerwen comes straight back at him. And at that point, like, it's almost Van Gerwen's halfway there, and you feel like you're still in second gear and left your keys in the front door and gone back to check the oven, sort of thing. Like, it didn't start the way Doby needed it to start. Whereas Van Gerwen is one of those players who is adept in any situation. For Doby to win this one, it felt like he had to lead it out. He had to get Van Gerwen up against it early doors. He had to get him thinking about the fact that he's not been great at the Ali Pali for a player of Van Gerwen's caliber, has won as much as he has and has dominated the sport to the level that he has in so long. The fact that Ali Pali has eluded him for so long, and then you start putting flashbacks in his mind of things like that Dave Chisnell quarterfinal a couple of years ago, etc. The more and more you can start putting Van Gerwen up against it on that stage, the more likely you are to get a result from that, as opposed to other stages where we've seen him do ridiculous things in Minehead, where he's got like 14 titles between the UK Open and the Players' Championship finals and whatever else. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. He actually wasn't too bad on the doubles today either, Doby, which is what sort of let him down in performances so far this tournament. But the scoring phase just wasn't there. Like,
I just had this on socials, like, I don't feel like either Bunting or Doby disgraced themselves with their performances, despite the scorelines. Someone just said, "Oh, Doby was naff." I was like, he did disgrace himself a tad. He's averaged 94 in a World Championship semi-final, was 40% on his doubles. The issue he's had is that he left it too late to get going, and he's lost key moments. But if you'd offered him a 94 average and 40% on the doubles over World Championship format that you expect is more than 7 sets, a couple more, most players would snap your hand off for that.
Yeah, I don't think
that's the level that they're aiming for. All right, a lot of them are capable of going above and beyond that, and Michael did tonight. But if you offer someone some stats that solid as a base, they'll snap your hand off for them.
Yeah, I don't think he played bad there. I just thought the scoring phase was not what we expect from him. He just didn't quite, like, 5 180s, only 19 scores of 140 or above. Like, yes, there were a lot of 134s in there. Give him that caveat because he did hit a lot of sort of 2 trebles down on the 19s, but it just wasn't what we quite expect from him. We're expecting in a game of 7 sets him missing at least sort of 12, 13, 14 180s, the way that he can score when he's on it, Carwin, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think ultimately that's probably what cost him not winning more sets, is the fact that he couldn't outscore Michael. As in, we know he's not the most prolific on the outer ring, so he needs the big scoring game to sort of to be ahead in the legs to give him the opportunities to win those legs. There was even one leg where Michael had 9 darts from 1 to 8, and he did lose the leg. Chris did nick it, but sort of nobody should be getting 9 darts from 1 to 8 and losing that leg. So I think, yeah, looking at it in a few days' time, he can be very happy with how he played tonight and how the tournament as a whole has gone, because he's made it to the semi-final of the Worlds. That's in the field as it is these days, that is no easy thing to do. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. I just think he'll probably look back and think that second set, if I win that, it's a different semi-final because he's in the game. 2-0 down, yes, he gets himself back into it, but you give Michael a lead and he's very, very hard to reel back in.
Yeah, 100%. Michael Van Gerwen, though, this is another, maybe not quite the level we've seen the last couple of games, but it's another really impressive performance from him. We did see a couple of sets where he dipped off this time, which we didn't see any of yesterday. But he's not been this well placed to win another one for a while, I wouldn't say.
Probably not. And look, he's the master of just doing enough, isn't it? Getting the most out of what he can. If he had have dipped off yesterday, you feel like Callum Rydz would have taken the opportunity of it. Today, It didn't feel like Doby would have, and he could afford to. Like, not to say he's planned it. Nobody goes into a set going, "Oh, I think I'll."
Well, he's not deliberately missing darts a double. Or...
you can relax a little bit when the scoreline's going that way, and it doesn't feel like your opponent's bringing as much at you. Whereas yesterday, Rids kept him honest and kept him on it through every single set.
Yeah, no, fully agree with you on that. As ever, I assumed we do have a clip from Michael. I think, yeah, we do. So obviously, interviews will be in full with both of the winners on the channel afterwards. But here was Michael van Gerwen speaking to Phil after his win.
You know me, Phil. I've been in this position a few more times, and the moment people don't believe in me, that's the moment I have to keep fighting and keep believing in your own ability, and that's what I'm doing. And you need to make sure you keep maintaining your own performance, and keep digging and try to level up your game, and that's the only thing what you can do. With the bookies, I'm going to be the underdog. With the fans, maybe I'm going to be the underdog. But yeah, people that know me maybe say a little bit different.
I think the main takeaway from there was that he, in his own head, he's not the underdog. He fancies this and he thinks he's going to win it.
He's not been the underdog for 25 years in his own head since he was in nappies, for Christ's sake. He never have, even when he's had his dips, there's been maybe 3 months this year where he started to say, the language changed a little bit, didn't it? It wasn't, they know that if I turn up or when I turn up, I win something. It was if, and it became if a little bit too often for him for about 3 months. And now all of a sudden, he's back in a World Championship final.
Yeah, absolutely. And feeling confident. The throw looks better than it has for a while. I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's been a lot more consistent in this tournament. And that's sort of the big difference for him. And it feels like that belief's there for him. Like I say,
and I think, sorry. No, I was going to say, I think the thing is as well, we've probably seen more of Michael's B game at points in this tournament than we have in any previous World Championship. Yet he's only dropped 8 sets throughout the tournament. So he's produced enough quality in all those games to win them all quite comfortably, really. Yes, there's been a sort of a few opponents threatening to fight back, but he's looked relatively comfortable, as in it feels like if he was pushed, he'd give a bit more. And he's smiling again. And I think he will relish the fact that it's Luke Littler in the final tomorrow. No disrespect to Stephen Bunting, but he knows if he wins tomorrow, he puts a statement out. As in, people wrote me off.
Yeah, it's not as much of a statement if he beats Stephen Bunting. As good as Stephen Bunting is, like the hype around Luke Littler, it's a big difference if he goes out there and does a job on him tomorrow.
Definitely, and if one player can turn it on in a one-off game to do that, it is Michael, because we know he loves the big occasion. He'll probably have the crowd against him, which is rare for him at Alexandra Palace tomorrow. But he'll love it. He'll love the fact that he's going against the man everybody's talking about.
It's a win-win for him tomorrow, and it's not very often Michael van Gerwen has been in a win-win position.
Yeah,
he is the underdog in a World Championship final.
Right?
If he loses it, he lost to a generational talent. Next one coming through. Michael did the same to Phil. Blah 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 blah. If he wins it, he's got 4. He's beat the new kid on the block in the second final this year. He's absolutely done him up a kipper again, sort of thing. And he can stick 2 fingers up to everyone and go, "Ha ha, have that. You all thought I was finished." By the way, I may have just told a group chat he's never winning again.
Yeah, you did just say that. Fair play to you for calling that out on here, because I thought you might have hidden from that slightly. One thing you won't be doing, I'm pretty certain, which has been mentioned quite a bit in the chat. Obviously, everyone else, feel free to get involved in the chat. We will try and throw up questions. We've got a bit more time tonight because we've only got 2 games and 1 to preview. So we'll try and throw up plenty as we go along. But yeah, fist bumps and high fives to Littler when he hits a double. Like, yeah, we talked about it, and I sort of defended Nathan Aspinall on it. But I think there's a difference. Like, when you're doing it, when he's just hitting any sort of normal double or whatever it is, like if it's a big shot, like if it's the 170 or whatever, then I'm fine with it, and I think it's all right. Like, but when he's just hit double 10 to win a set, I'm not about that. That's you're going over the top to be trying to be too nice to him at that point. Just
it felt like it was happening every set. It was Yeah, well,
almost every leg at some point.
Yeah.
And like, I know Stephen Bunting's a nice bloke, and like, it's just, but yeah, I think not on everything. Like big shot, if it's a 9, if it's a 170, 164, whatever it might be, like fair enough. Or like it just takes something out of nowhere, then I'm all right with it. But there has been a bit too much of it, and Michael Van Gerwen will not be doing that tomorrow. He'll be doing the absolute opposite of anything. If it goes to a deciding set, we might see him not even give him a nudge at that point.
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, as in they are playing for ridiculous sums of money, and if you're playing for 100,000 and a guy hits double 10 to win a set against you, oh, well done, mate. No, get on with it. You've got to get back into this game. Oh, the only fist bump I would have accepted in that game was at the start, the 170, and at the end. Anything else, no. There's a game to be won. Get on with the darts.
Yeah, I think even Littler went sort of out of his way to go and shake Stephen's hand when he won a set, and I think that was almost a little bit derogatory at that point. Like, yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. Let's get into this game then. And
can we get back to the fist bumps? Because you were saying, "Oh no, it's Aspinall. He can do what he wants." Last night.
No, but in the big moments again, like not every fucking leg. Like, I'm fine with it in the big moments. If someone takes out something decent, like fair enough, give them a nudge. Like, but if it's just he's hit double 10 to win a set, fucking leave him alone.
If anyone else's house is missing some toilet roll, just invite Cam round and he'll lick it clean for you.
What a cunt you are. Anyway, on to this game. Let's get into it. And you mentioned it before, Gob. Like, Stephen Bunting has not disgraced himself here by any means. He's played 11 sets on the Ali Pali stage in a semi-final. He's averaged 100, just over 100. And yeah, he's 36.6% on his doubles. He's pretty solid, let's be honest. Like, he's not done a lot wrong, but what he hasn't done is do the right things at the right times. And it is just a little thing when you play Luke that these opportunities and these missed darts at double, they're generally only one dart that you're getting. So there's so much more pressure on them that it makes it really, really difficult to hit them, first of all. And it makes it easy to look like you've missed a lot of opportunities where realistically you've only ever had one dart.
Yeah, another strange one. Again, we said this last night, didn't we? That in my predictions, I said I thought the distance might be an issue, and if he gets behind a bit like Doby, then it's tough to come back in front. And both of them have fallen into that trap immediately. Don't get me wrong, 2 fantastic opening sets from Van Gerwen and Littler, respectively. Chance to get level in the second set, not taken by Bunting, and then it just starts to unwind that little bit more, doesn't it? And again, race to get that first set on the board so it doesn't become embarrassing. Played okay, like you said, but lost far too many key moments in that one as well.
Yeah, 100%. But that is the point. Like, generally, even if you have a good day on the doubles, you're only going to hit 40%, 50% at most. So if you're only ever getting one shot at them, you're going to miss a lot of those chances. And that is the problem with the pressure that he puts on, with the scoring power. The fact that he never gives you a moment off. He's just constantly there, isn't he? Like, whether it's your throw, his throw, he's always there and he's always pressuring every single shot.
Yeah, I saw a lot of similarities between this game and when Bunting played Woodhouse, in the fact that he never let him settle, and Littler never really let Stephen get into the game. Because he was, even in legs when Littler was trailing, he was getting to a finish. So every time Bunting was throwing for a double, he knew if he missed, Littler was coming back for a two-darter or 3-darter at a double. And eventually that pressure will tell, because the more you miss, the more you have to hit. And the more you have to hit, the more likely it is that you miss. But again, similar to Doby, and Bunting can look back at this and think he's had a good tournament. His stock has risen again. His social media's gone through the roof. It's been a really good campaign for Bunting, and he'll only gain fans from it. Yes, obviously he'll be disappointed.
As if he needs any more, by the way, the people's champ.
Well, yeah.
Different world now as well. Like it's a very successful tournament for him, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And he'll just hope now that he gets that magic phone call come Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, not far off. Yeah, you're not have to wait long. I assume most of them have probably already found out at this stage.
Yeah,
if not all.
But yeah, it's just when Littler's like that, he's impossible to play, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think he is literally just so difficult to play against. Like 105.48, all the 180s, all the big checkouts. Like I say, the fish went for the second match in a row tonight. It basically had everything at set to 9, and he threatened that a couple of times as well. I think he went 5 perfect twice, maybe 3 times.
He's keeping that for tomorrow.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise you one bit, would it?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the scenes?
If both hit them back to back, crazy scenes.
A repeat of the greatest leg ever to happen.
We might have to kill Stuart Pycroft if that happens.
Still the lines. Who said that?
Moving on.
Said in a Welsh accent. I'm safe.
We obviously were a bit early on having a clip on Littler.
We won't get that tonight. No, that's not of all the media furore around.
Yeah, Phil, the famous Mr. Phil Barr's works hard, but I think even he's going to struggle tonight to get it to us on a shorter show.
Yeah, face of many outlets today as well. The famous.
He was, the BBC. He was on today as well. He's getting about a little bit now. Darts journalist now as well. That's it. His new title in the group.
Yeah,
fuming about that one.
Yeah, I'd imagine there'll be quite a few people wanting Luke Littler clips tonight. He's just. I think he showed tonight, and I know he's shown quite a bit of emotion throughout the tournament, but I think he showed tonight that he is ready to go a step further, and probably his toughest game maybe on paper in this tournament so far, and he got through it quite easily, and again he's averaged over a ton, and he's throwing averages that will make, even though he'll be the favourite, I think all the pressure will be on MVG because Luke Littler's playing, I'm not going to say average, but he's not playing top end stuff, and he's still averaging 3 figures. So it's certainly going to be a spicy one.
I think that average was 7th all time in a World Championship semi-final, and we're still saying that he's not playing at his best yet, which is ridiculous. And to be fair, that's behind one of his own averages in last year's semi-final as well.
And he was 16.
Yeah, he's still only 17. No one's mentioned it.
No, I kept that quiet today.
Yeah, no, yeah, you'd never believe it. I don't think he'll be kept too quiet once he turns 18, and there's about 800,000 betting companies that want a part of him. Probably the title sponsor, Paddy Power, being the main one.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine? As in, if he's got the world at his feet now, when he turns 18, it'll just be an even bigger oyster landing at his feet. I think a lot of people on the phone.
Yeah. Well, there is also the chance that he finds booze and women and it all falls apart. I don't think so, somehow.
Darts players don't drink.
You know, I thought they at least had a celebratory sort of half out when they'd won a game.
There's a film that's Shandy Bass.
Cocktail shit, but that's about it.
What's that?
Dimitri drinks some cocktail shit, but that's about it.
He loves a Malibu and orange. But that, again, it's only in celebration after they've won a game. They definitely don't have anyone to practice it.
Correct.
Well, we've all seen them on stage doing their interviews. There's not a drop of alcohol.
Mickey Mantle has never been drunk on stage. Just waffling here. Right, final tomorrow. Predictions time. Unless anyone's got any other business before that in the chat. Anything you've seen, Gob? Anything you want to bring up?
Not really.
No, we'll just go straight into it then. The final tomorrow. Michael Van Gerwen against Luke Littler. Carwin, as you've been basically an ever-present, you can have first go on this.
Thank you. Yeah. I just want a close game.
Oh, don't give me this. I've had this off. I mentioned Paul Sandbrook about playing darts against him last night, and he said twice in 2 separate conversations today. Once to his missus when she came and asked him how the darts, who he wanted to win in the darts. He said, "I just hope darts is the winner," which is a disgusting phrase, and I'm having none of it. So if he is watching, he's getting called out for that. And you were going down that road then. You were going, "I just hope."
Oh, I hope it's a close game. Luke Littler wins. I just hope Michael can raise his game enough to make it competitive. But I don't think he does, and I don't think Littler drops off enough to make it competitive. Luke Littler wins 7-3.
He's got it wide as well. What way are you going, Gob?
Same winner, slightly shorter, slightly tighter. Sorry, 7-4 for me. The worry is that Van Gerwen. Well, the worry for Littler is Van Gerwen's beaten him in a final already, and he might have the odd scar from last year, especially if he misses 3 at double 10 at any point for a set around 4 each. But I just expect the difference tomorrow to be Littler to do something special as opposed to what we've seen in the past where Van Gerwen does something special to almost like a FIFA Street game breaker. He puts one between his legs and slams in the top corner.
Look at that. Nice little FIFA reference there for the Littler fans.
What game, by the way.
Yeah, probably the best game there's ever been in terms of
soundtrack. Unbelievable.
Yeah, top tier. We'll get onto if we get onto that, we could be on this for hours. In the chat room, we've got loads of people getting involved. Adam, 7-5 Littler, close game. All Box Up's got it 7-4 to Littler. Andy's got it 7-2 to Littler. Joel Heaton, of course, has gone MVG 7-5 because he's trying to protect his tenner that he's going to owe me when it doesn't happen. Just a little spoiler on my prediction there. MVG 7-4 for B Middleton. Malachi's got it MVG 7-5. Lorenzo Littler 7-5. Daniel's got it Luke 7-5. 7-5 Luke for Yellow Strike. Shelty's got it 7-4 for Littler. Dick's got it 7-3. James 7-4. Roy's got it MVG 7-6. Littler 7-5 for Miss Mac. 7-6 MVG for Joel as well. Couple got MVG winning it tight. Jamie's got it 7-5 MVG. Murder's got it 7-3 Littler and 9 Darter. I think we get one tomorrow night. They're too good, these two. I just think we see it at some point. They've been threatening it for the last couple of days. 7-5 MVG for George. SJR's got it 7-4 Littler. Hazzy 7-5 Littler. And I'm sure I've thrown Andy up already, but he's gone 7-2 Littler. And Yankee's got it 7-6 Littler. And he's just stolen my prediction right at the end. I think we see an absolute all-time classic tomorrow. But when it matters, a bit like you, Gob, I think we see something special from Littler to get over the line and win it. I think we see a ridiculous final set that's almost like close to what he did against Meikle to win the final set, which would be unbelievable after that length of time up on the stage and that sort of a battle. But I just think he's got those levels in him, and he wins it 7-6. But proper all-time classic.
You know, if we get extra legs tomorrow, there's a chance we see more darts in the final tomorrow night than we did in 2 semi-finals this evening. If Bunting hadn't won a set when he did, we were genuinely on for that without the extra legs.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it is like semi-finals are shite the last few years. Like, they have not been a close affair at any point, and I don't really know why. Because yes, we've seen the odd couple of people make it to a semi-final that you maybe wouldn't expect, but you still expect it to be a close. But anyone that makes it to the last 4, you're thinking this is going to be a decent fight. And we sort of expected it with today's games. We thought they were going to go a lot closer than they did.
Yeah, I think what happened today, though, was the two favourites, and I guess the two who have won at this stage before, showed their class, whilst maybe the two who were hoping of making it to the World Final just wanted it a little bit too much and knew that every dart was a pressurised dart, and they were probably a bit flatter than they've been all tournament. And when they reflect, I just hope they don't just look at this game, but look at the whole tournament, because tonight wasn't a fair representation of their performances. Although I say that one's averaged 94 and one's averaged 100, so they've not played bad. They've just played an opponent who's been better.
Yeah, I think you're not far wrong there. Paddy's saying make it a not like old school box, make it a 15 rounder, just up the sets. Like, I wouldn't mind that. Just leave them up there all night. Actually, absolutely knock lumps out of each other for the night. Mikhail's got the question there for us: will Littler beat the 180 record? I think that's a banker for me. He needs 18.
18. Only if we get lots of sets. If you get 7-2 like you predicted, then no. He's hitting about one every other leg.
Yeah, I know, but if it's going 7-6 like I've got, he'll have a million more than that.
I thought you had 7-2.
7-6.
Oh, all right. Yeah, then loads of time.
Yeah, 10 sets or more, and I think he gets it.
I think we'll see. There's no way that either of these doesn't win at least 3 sets tomorrow. I cannot see any possible way that happens.
7-0 incoming.
1-7 either way, because that's it is one of those. It can't possibly happen, can it?
I mean, it can, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, I think MVG will have enough to win 3 sets, as I've predicted. So I think, both sets will win. Both players will win 3 sets.
Any other business in the chat room? Anything else anyone wants to ask us at this point? Because it's been a pretty short show, this, to be fair. We're only 33 minutes in, which is not a lot for us, to be fair.
I know it's the last one, and I know we hate this conversation, but...
Go on, do it. Mention...
Well, it's the last chance that you two are going to get, because we're expecting the lineup on Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that there's only 2 players left, everybody has put up as much of a chance to stake their claim as possible. The 2 finalists are in regardless. They're both in the top 4 in the world.
Yeah.
Premier League 8. Well, who's your other 4? Because with that final lineup as well, Rob Cross has retained his spot in the top 4. Cannot be caught.
Yeah.
Someone was adamant the other day that he was going to fall.
Well, it would have only took... What would it took? One,
do you know, I'm that kind of petty person. I might have to go and dig that out on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
In my head,
Bunting was not.
In my mind, Bunting was winning tonight, so Cross would have been out of the top 4. So actually, in my heart, I went with my heart and my head with that prediction last night. But the 4, yeah. Ooh.
Right. So obviously, for me, Bunting's definitely one of the 4. So I've got Luke, MVG, Cross, Bunting, guaranteed, no question about it. Who's next? Dimmy, because he won the UK Open and dances like a twat, as I said the other night. And then we need 2 more. Asp just gets in, and Gezi gets in. Doby misses out again, as does Michael Smith.
Interesting.
Which I've changed my mind on, because I've had Smith in there every time we've talked about this, but I've changed my mind now. I think he misses
Smith's
out.
been long out of it for me. Darwin?
Bunting, Price, because he won the Battle of the Welshmen. So Price makes it in.
You must have a Welshman in at all times.
Well,
You could have 8 if he could. Just around the Mecca Bingo in Cardiff.
Yeah,
he'd be one of them. This is the last one.
Yeah,
Invitational
for 16 weeks. We've got a few village halls we could fill across Wales. That's what I've been scouting over the last 2 weeks is locations in Wales for an all Wales Premier League. Doby, Price. Sorry, not Doby. Bunting, Price, Aspinall, and Damon Hector to play a pantomime villain.
Well, I think he played himself out of it in the Worlds. I think he didn't.
Yeah, there's two ways to answer this. Who do I want in the Premier League alongside?
Oh yeah, who do I want in there is a different list to the one that I've just given you.
Or who would I pick? Bunting, Decker, Doby, Gary at this point.
Gary, you can't pick Gary. He's not going to play.
I can pick Gary.
But he won't play, so you'll be missing a person.
I think he could have been persuaded if he'd gone deep here, but that early loss to De Graaf was catastrophic. Who do I think they'll pick? Top four: Bunting, Price, Doby, Ash.
Do you think they go Doby rather than Dimmy?
Yes.
Obviously, recency claims on making a world semi.
I think Dimmy had just edged it from Mike to Decker. If De Decker had won like 2 rounds, I think we're comfortably having a go. If De Decker makes the last 16, he's in. But that was a disaster for him early doors.
I think I just think De Decker's not backed it up since he won, has he?
He ran into Luke again, didn't he? Was it Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's if the Premier League was double in, maybe, but.
It'll be an interesting caveat for 1 week.
Yes.
Why don't we just have random stuff like that? We'll just throw in 1 week, just tell them on the night, it's it's double in this week, and then 1 week, it's be it's 1,001 this week. Just throw random shit in there, just without telling any of them beforehand until they get there on the night. And it's just a big wheel on the stage beforehand. They just spin it and see what they get that week.
Sponsor it.
One thing I will say though, the Premier League, I don't think it's as easy this year to pick the other 4 as maybe in the past. I think there's a lot of players maybe who might think they probably deserve it but haven't done enough. So there's nobody sort of really stood out for me in the other 4. Bunting probably being the exception. I think other than that,
you couldn't miss putting this one up on the screen.
Can I just point out that the vendetta against Barney was initially mine, and then Jarlath made it his thing, and I'm still a bit livid about him.
He doesn't have a vendetta against him. He just pretends to. He loves him, really.
Yeah, true.
I can put the picture of him all in orange up if we need.
Luke Littler is 17 and has just reached the same number of PDC World Championship finals as Raymond van Barneveld did in his career.
Yeah. And tomorrow night we'll have won as many.
But he gets some fancy sirens from Johnny Mack.
He could have. I don't think that'll be part of the Littler clip tonight. I don't think he'll mention the fact that you won't go like Humphreys the other night and say I'm 1 win away from doing his career more than 25 years earlier for him. Jesus, how old's Barney now?
Very.
Yeah, 55.
Oh, 37 years to get 1 more world title.
57?
Is he 57? Got 40 years to it.
If Luke doesn't win a world title in 40 years, hell will freeze over.
So I said, if Dimmy goes in, I'll send Cam to £10. I just putting it out there, I do not want him in. He's out of the 128 people with turquoise, he would be last on my list. But I do think he gets in.
Ruined my UK Open.
It ruined all of our UK Open. What do you mean, not just yours? I've never seen a group of lads more fuming sat there on a Sunday evening.
Ruined ITV4's coverage.
Is twofold. De Decker was leading that charge for a lot of us because of winning the Grand Prix more recently, but it's the age, it's the image thing as well. You think Cullen and Doby are players that have benefited from having that clean-cut appearance as opposed to being Jose de Souza, for instance, who was entertaining for 6 months, but sort of lost his appeal. And at that point, Sky are trying even harder to push it as a game for everybody. And look how clean and fabulous this sport is. And Humphreys had been for his health kick and a few others. Has obviously won a major this year, has already been in it a couple of times. Belgium's having a really big boom in terms of darts. Look how well the Euro Tour's been attended there. They could potentially take a Premier League night in the next couple of years if they get a player consistently at that level. So, yeah, look, Dimmy isn't a selection, I think, from, oh, my God, we absolutely love to watch him, because I think there's plenty out there that don't. Like, when Dimmy plays at a lovely pace, like we know he can, he is very watchable, he is entertaining, but I think that's worn off on a lot of people where he is quite too-paced and can choose to slow the game down completely if it's not going his way. That's more of a pick for all the other values that we associate with the Premier League about being commercially viable. And look, we say it a lot. He speaks 5 languages. He's got an entertaining walk-on, etc., etc. And when it was a decision of, well, Dedeker's holding that spot at the minute as he pinched it from Dimmy, who, look, after the match play, probably was in that conversation because he was holding a major. Completely different conversation.
Yeah. Any other business?
No, just some thank yous, I think.
Yeah. First one, massive one, Carwin, for just being here every night, it feels like. Unbelievable shift from you the last 3 weeks.
I've loved it. It's been a pleasure.
Rob's just gone for recency bias. He's almost like just trying to sneak into the Premier League on a...
I missed 4 nights when I was working.
He just turns up for the last 3 nights, so everyone remembers that he was on.
I'd also like to thank my significant other, who's allowed me to be on almost every night. And she must have started to enjoy that because she's joined in the chat tonight. So I feel like that's a little win for me.
Wait, hang on, where's your missus in the chat then?
So Miss Mac.
That's Miss Mac. Oh, she's been in the last couple of nights, to be
fair.
My missus religiously does not watch because she hears enough of my voice as it is.
Katie doesn't watch, but she's started to understand like who the key players are, and she's like, "Oh, who's in the Premier League then?" Like,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, you've done well there. You've got her listening to our nonsense for a good hour and a half on most nights, as it's been at the time that it's been as well. So fair play to Mrs. Mike, and I'm sure we'll see you again then as we go through these going forwards. Thank you, biggest thank you though. More than for you, Carwin, is to everyone in the chat room, to be honest, because it's not a show without any of you guys. Even Rasheen's listening to this night. I don't believe that. I'm not having that. Absolutely no chance, Charlie. I'm surprised you're allowed to listen to it. But yeah, everyone in the chat room, everyone that contributes, everyone that gets involved, people that are here every single night. It's what makes this show what it is and what makes it like. As much as we like to sit here and talk darts, if the rest of you weren't here, we'd get bored pretty quickly, and we wouldn't be sat here every night doing it. So thank you to everyone in there, everyone that's sort of contributed, like we say, and everything that Phil has done in the background. We've got to shout out Phil as well on this as well, because the famous Mr. Phil Bars, yeah, the work that he's put in. He even got in the chat room at one point and predicted one game this week, which with everything else he's doing was impressive from him as well. And yeah, I think other than that, enjoy tomorrow. Like I think it's going to be one of the best we've ever seen. I think it's going to be an unbelievable final. I just think we'll see so much of Van Gerwen doing the right thing at the right time and to push Luke all the way. But I think we'll see him have to raise his level to something we've not seen yet this tournament from him, which is going to make it an unbelievable watch. So everyone, enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed listening to us. I hope you enjoyed the tournament as it's gone along. After Christmas, there's been some unbelievable games, and I think we finish off with one more to do it. So thank you, everyone. And
quick one from me. Don't forget, we are back on Monday for the live lounge, including Q School coverage all week.
You just can't help it, can you? Even when you're in charge. I was literally just going into that, and you've stolen my thunder at the end.
And also, thank you, Cam, for driving the show so well over the last 2 weeks. You've done it
Yes, Paul.
Yeah, I
professionally.
absolutely hate hosting. It's not my bag at all, but there's still the odd little bit that I have to get in.
Right. And on that note, we will see you all very soon. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Bye.